Kentucky Kingdom, a park that has rebuilt and reimagined itself after being left in the dust by Six Flags. There was a time we thought Kentucky Kingdom would be no more, but a new owner would come in and rescue the park and not only save it, but turn it into one of the hottest theme parks in the Ohio Valley, turning around an inevitable demise into a bright future. So what does this new future hold for Kentucky Kingdom? What type of thrill machine could take this park to the next level? Will it be a new innovative design? Or will it come from a manufacturer who has recently restored their destiny? Find out in the Season 1 finale of Next Coaster.
This is the future.
Hey everyone, this is Kalahale from Destination Thrills, and we are here with another episode of Next Coaster, where we try to predict what type of roller coaster could be added next by a certain theme park. In today's episode, we have Kentucky Kingdom, located in Louisville, Kentucky. The park has been recently brought back to life when Ed Hart came in and rescued the property that was abandoned by Six Flags. Ever since Ed Hart has took over, he has made certain to add high, thrilling, cost-effective coasters like Lightning Run and Storm Chaser. These coasters have drawn the attention of coaster enthusiasts across the country, making Kentucky Kingdom a must-stop through any road trip in the Louisville area. Now, Ed Hart has not hid the fact that he believes coasters are what really draws in crowds, which explains why he has added 3 in the last 6 years. Their most recent hit, Kentucky Flyer, opened in 2019, and I believe that Kentucky Kingdom is already cooking up their next big coaster for the park. So let's try to get into the mind of Ed Hart to predict their next coaster. Some factors we considered when making our predictions. First, we looked at the current lineup. Right now they have 2 wooden coasters, a Chance Hyper GTX, a Vekoma SLC, blah, and a RMC Hybrid. With 2 of the 6 operating coasters being wooden, I think it is safe to say that Kentucky Kingdom's next coaster will be steel, especially since their last edition was Kentucky Flyer, a wooden coaster. We also know that 2 of the park's steel hybrid coasters heavily focus on ejector airtime, so I think Kentucky Kingdom might look for something more inversion focused rather than airtime focused. Another factor is that Kentucky Kingdom hasn't really spent tens of millions of dollars on their coasters recently. Most of their ride investments have been under $10 million. So we will want to look for a manufacturer and model type that satisfies this need. Our third factor is that Kentucky Kingdom is right next to Louisville's International Airport, which means the park is subjected to height restrictions. The park's tallest coaster sits around 100 feet. The Ferris wheel in the park is at 150 feet. I think it is likely that the next coaster will follow along these same guidelines. The final factor is that Kentucky Kingdom has no launched coasters. None. So it is very likely that a launch coaster will be in the pipeline. We will want to look for manufacturers that produce a launch coaster that will be cost effective and be able to provide a low to the ground thrill. Alright, so now that we have addressed the factors, let's get into my predictions. First, we have a Premier Rides launch coaster. Premier Rides has become popular with Six Flags and SeaWorld Entertainment Parks for building these compact, high-thrilling launch coasters. We have seen Premier go from their Skyrocket 2 models to making custom layouts such as West Coast Racers and Icebreaker. I think a coaster similar to these two would check every box that we mentioned in the open. Thrilling launch? Check. Multiple inversions? Check. Cost effective? Check. Low to the ground? Check. I really think Kentucky Kingdom will follow more of a Icebreaker full throttle style versus the dueling style of West Coast Racers. I think it will probably have a multi-directional launch featuring a beyond vertical spike. I could imagine 4 to 5 inversions on the coaster. Also, if they need to make room, they could take out T3. Just saying. The only thing that is uncertain is the relationship between Kentucky Kingdom and Premier Rides. To my knowledge, these two haven't worked together yet, so it is possible that Kentucky Kingdom selects something from a manufacturer that they have worked with in the past. But because Premier Rides launch coaster seems like such a perfect fit for the park, I am giving it a 40% chance of being Kentucky Kingdom's next coaster. On to our second prediction, we have a Vekoma launch coaster. Now you might be thinking, what? Yes, I said it. Wouldn't that not be the greatest thing if Kentucky Kingdom brought a new gen Vekoma over to North America? Coaster enthusiasts would lose their mind. You hear everyone raving over Let Coaster and how insane it looks. but all of these are so far away for enthusiasts in the United States. So what a great idea to add one of Vekoma's newest launch models to Kentucky Kingdom. We know that Kentucky Kingdom is very involved and in tune with the coaster enthusiast community, so it is likely they have heard our new love for the next generation Vekomas. And it is likely they have heard our desire for one of them to be added in North America. So what a way to stir up hype than to answer us with a sick custom layout from Vekoma. Now I tried to get a good cost estimate on one of these new launch coasters. Select Coaster, which mind you is not a launch model but a next gen Vekoma, was priced around $13 million. So it could be reasonable that Kentucky Kingdom would invest in this. They could also have a shorter layout to help bring down some of the costs as well. Something like Formula at Energylandia would be a good fit. Now, although I believe this could be a huge hit compared to the Premier launch model, it might not be as appealing for Kentucky Kingdom. If Premier Rides can come in and make a launch model cheaper and show the proof of their success with their recent designs, I could see Kentucky Kingdom swing more towards Premier. So, accounting for this, I believe that a Vekoma launch coaster has a 15% chance of being their next coaster. And I had to throw this one in there because it just sounded like such a fantastic plan, and I think if anyone would do it right now, it would be Ed Hart. Okay, moving on to my third possibility, and I think this would be more of a safe option, and that is a RMC Raptor clone. Kentucky Kingdom has seen a lot of success from the park's RMC hybrid Storm Chaser, so it definitely seems possible for them to work together. And honestly, when the first Raptor coasters were announced, it seemed like this style of ride was a perfect fit for a small park like Kentucky Kingdom. These rides are cheap relative to other coasters on the market, they take up a small footprint, and they don't need to go very tall to provide a high thrill. In fact, some enthusiasts say that these are the most intense coasters with the extreme pacing. The reason why I don't favor this model as much is that if you went with a Wonder Woman Golden Lasso style coaster, for example, then you have another coaster that has that whippy ejector airtime, which is similar to Lightning Run and Storm Chaser. They already have one violent coaster in the park, so adding another one just doesn't make sense to me. Now obviously I would not mind it if every single park had several extreme, intense, violent coasters, but when you think about the general public, not everyone is going to enjoy that type of experience. Heck, even coaster enthusiasts complain of discomfort from Storm Chaser. So this is why I don't have the Raptor in the likely tier, but if Kentucky Kingdom wants a low budget high thrill coaster without a launch, then the Raptor is going to be their choice. This is why I give it a 15% chance of being Kentucky Kingdom's next coaster, and I think if they do add it, it will most likely be a clone of Railblazer or Wonder Woman. Okay, finally, I always like to give a fantasy option, and this time I'm gonna go with the SNS Axis Coaster. I know if you follow these videos, you're probably like, is he gonna throw in the SNS Axis Coaster every single time? But my thought is the technology looks so good and SNS has really gained traction in the US market. That's why I believe this ride model will be purchased soon. Now I think there are several other parks that have a real shot at getting the first Axis coaster. If you would like to find out which parks those are, go ahead and watch the video in the card above. But could you imagine if Kentucky Kingdom announced this? Let's be honest, I think if Ed Hart was running Kentucky Kingdom like he was in RCT3 sandbox mode, he would add the Axis coaster. The attention that would come from adding the first of this kind innovative technology would be monumental. I could see people from not just around the country, but around the world heading to Kentucky Kingdom to try this out. It looks like it can have a compact low to the ground layout, and it would be completely unique to any ride in the park. Also low key, that would put it 4 hours from me, so I would absolutely be pumped if this happened. Now honestly, I don't know how much this coaster type is selling for, but one could imagine it is not cheap as compared to your RMC Raptor or Premier launch coasters. So I'm not sure, especially with the current economic climate, if Ed Hart is going to want to take a risk on such a big investment. You have to remember this would be the first of its kind, and although SNS has tested this product, we don't know how it is going to turn out. So in my opinion, this is almost too much of a risk for it to be a real possibility for Kentucky Kingdom, which is why I'm giving it a less than 1% chance that it will happen, but one can dream. Alright, so we have looked into the potential coaster models that Kentucky Kingdom could look into, but how soon could we see one of these coasters ready to thrill guests? Well, before the COVID-19 outbreak, I was thinking 2021 or 2022, more on the 2022 side, as the trend for Kentucky Kingdom has been to add a new coaster every 2 to 3 years. But with the park likely being shut down until June, this could really delay any future coaster project back another 1 to 2 years. So my latest thinking right now is 2023. Well, we have reached the season 1 finale of the Next Coaster series. Now, this doesn't mean that future prediction videos will stop. As we head into what we hope will be the start of the 2020 theme park season in the middle of summer, I will be focusing on 2021 editions. Now, of course, we will bring back the Next Coaster series later in the year with parks like Kings Island and Hershey Park. Now, of course, I may throw out 1 or 2 random Next Coaster episodes during the summer, as I know how much you all love these videos. Now, if you haven't checked out the other videos in this series, head down to the description below for the full playlist. As always, thank you so much for watching this video and this series. Don't forget to subscribe to Destination Thrills, the destination for all the latest theme park news, rumors, speculation, and content. I am Kalahale, stay safe and have a good one.